Okay. Jason is a 32-year-old man who has attended counseling. He tells me that although he has considered counseling for a long time, he does not believe that he can change his behavior or build onto his self-esteem. Recently, Jason's girlfriend, Carrie, encouraged him to not seek support after noticing how negatively he speaks about himself. She becomes concerned about hearing Jason repeatedly say things like, "I'm stupid and I'm an idiot." Jason also admits that he may be drinking alcohol too often and wants help developing healthier habits and more positive self esteem. In this session, we will explore Jason's experiences using cognitive behavior therapy approach and social learning concept, and examine how counseling can support positive behavior changes. Jason explained that he has negatively thought about himself almost every day. When he makes a mistake at work or forgets something small, he immediately criticizes himself. Sometimes he says things like um, that are out loud, but they do internalize. Jason does not realize he's doing this. It's automatic. It just happens. He believes he's stupid whenever he messes some up. Jason revealed that these thoughts have existed for as long as he can remember. He recalls being bullied at school throughout childhood. Other students made fun of him and made him feel inadequate. Jason also describes his mother as someone who was constantly criticizing herself, putting herself down. She'd say things like, "I'm hopeless" or "I can't do anything right." Jason grew up hearing all that a lot. These experiences may have contributed to the negative belief Jason now holds about himself. Cognitive behavior therapy focuses on the connection between thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. According to cognitive behavior therapy, people develop patterns of thinking over time. When these thoughts are repeatedly negative, they can strongly affect emotional well being and behavior. For Jason, thoughts such as thinking that he is stupid can lead to feeling of shame, embarrassment, and low self-esteem and low self-confidence. These feelings may then influence behaviors such as avoiding challenges, withdrawing socially, or drinking alcohol to cope with stress. I explained to Jason that thoughts are not always facts. Instead, thoughts can sometimes become disorientated through past experiences, criticism, or learned behaviors. So, for example, if you have a parent that's very negative, you will follow. I explained to Jason that sometimes our brains develop habits of thinking that are harsh, unfair. The good news is that these habits can be recognized and changed over time. Jason experiences can also be understood through social learning theory. Social learning theory suggests that people learn behaviors and attitude by observing others, role modeling people that children are in contact with, parents specifically, especially important role models during childhood, such as a parent. Growing up, Jason regularly observed his mother criticizing herself over time. She may have unconsciously learned that negative self talk was normal. In addition, bullying at school likely reinforced feelings of inadequate, and low self-worth. When children repeatedly hear negative messages about themselves, they may eventually begin believing those messages internally. I will help Jason recognize that these experiences that shaped his thinking patterns, but they do not define who he is as a person. I told Jason that the way you think about yourself today may have developed from past experience, but those thoughts are not permanent truths. One important CBT strategy involves identifying challenging negative thoughts. So basically, um, I will encourage Jason to begin paying attention to situations that trigger self criticism. For example, if Jason forgets an appointment and immediately thinks, I'm an idiot, I will suggest that he stop and examine the thought more carefully than to ask himself questions such as, what evidence supports this thought? Am I being too harsh on myself? Everyone makes mistakes. Would I say this to someone I care about? Is there another way to view this situation? This process helps Jason recognize that his thoughts are often exaggerated and unfair. I will then help Jason replace negative thoughts with more balanced alternatives. Instead of saying I'm stupid, everyone makes a mistake. This does not define my intelligence. Over time, repeated practice can help Jason develop healthier thinking habits and improve his self esteem. What is the worst thing that can happen if I make a mistake? Would I be able just to rectify it and that's fine? During counseling, Jason also discussed his drinking habits. He explained that alcohol helps him relax and temporarily forget stressful thoughts and emotions. I will help Jason recognize that drinking may be functioning as an unhealthy coping strategy and it's only temporary. People often use substances to manage emotional discomfort, anxiety, stress, or low self esteem. Unfortunately, while alcohol may provide short term relief, it can also reinforce negative emotions and unhealthy patterns over time. I will help Jason to identify healthier coping strategies, including deep breathing exercise and physical activities. Maybe writing down his thoughts and emotions, mindfulness techniques, speaking with supportive people, developing problem solving skills. These healthier strategies can gradually reduce Jason's reliance on alcohol and improve emotional regulation. For counseling to be effective, Jason needs to feel emotionally safe and supported. Because Jason doubts his ability to change, I will focus on creating a positive learning environment, build an empathetic environment, develop trust and encouragement. This will be done by listening, active listening, without judgment, validating his experiences, helping him set realistic goals, recognizing small achievements, encouraging self compassion. A supportive relationship will help Jason's confidence and motivation for change. Over time, Jason will begin to understand that growth is possible even if change happens gradually. Jason's experiences show his childhood experiences, learned behaviors, and Negative thinking patterns can affect self-esteem and coping behaviors later in life. Using cognitive behavior therapy, counseling can help Jason recognize himself, any harmful thought patterns, challenging negative beliefs, and develop healthier coping strategies. Although change takes time, support and self awareness can help Jason build confidence.